welcome to another episode of my podcast. My name is Cheryl, and this is Cappuccino Crafts, my little channel on YouTube and my corner of the general interwebs where I like to talk about knitting and sometimes crochet and books and TV and movies and other life and general chatty things that I want to share with you. Thank you so very much for choosing to watch this video and spend a little bit of your time with me. I really hope that you enjoy it. So please settle in, get yourself a delicious beverage. I have my tea, and get your yarn, your hook, your needles, and your embroidery or whatever it is, and let's have a lovely visit together. Yes, it is another Monday. It is March 1st, and so we are already like rounding up to the last part of the first quarter of the year. Amazing. February was a pretty good month for me, and I hope that March will be a good one. Yeah, so let's get started with the crafting. I started the first toe. Here's the other sock. But I started the first toe, and so I expect that in my next video these socks will be finished. And this is the contrast heel and toe cuff. This is the contrast heel and toe color. And this lovely yarn, this was a sock set from Mad Fuzzy. It is Mad Fuzzy yarn, the Pure Fuzzy base, which is 100% East Frisian wool. So there is no nylon or polyamide or bamboo or silk to add a bit of strength and durability. But the East Frisian wool is a coarser wool sheep breed, and it feels smooth once it's knit up, and it feels pretty smooth in your hand when you're knitting it, but it is a little bit scratchy and itchy. It is not super soft like a merino wool. And because this is not superwash wool, I do need to hand wash this pair of socks. So I'm probably going to be more careful with them, just so that they last longer and I don't have to, I'm not going to want to hand wash them all the time. So they'll probably get lighter wear, but this is a really beautiful yarn dyed by Mad Fuzzy. So I really, really like these socks. They've been really fun to knit. So I'm already thinking I'm gonna need a new project soon. So I'm starting to think about what I might want to cast on. And my other project is progressing. Here we are with the Fidelia. This is a cardigan. This is the body. And this is the bottom up. And the sleeves are already done up to like here. So I am a good ways into this project and I really, really like it. Oh, there's a little white fluff. Um, yeah, this is a lovely, lovely pattern, and it's nice to knit. Although for this chart, I really do need to look at it every single time. And the half charts, a left and a right for these two. But the rest of it is really pretty simple. Once you've done a couple repeats, you really have it memorized. But I did make another mistake early on. You can see here, I forgot Bobbles. I forgot this bobble, and I forgot it in the whole row. Every time I came there to a place, there's 4 of them, and I missed all 4 the whole row. So I did figure out a way to use just cut a piece of yarn and knit up to that point, and then when I come here, just drop down a couple stitches, knit the bobble with that strip of yarn, and then pick those stitches back up, and then continue on without having to take out a row or 2 of stitches, which really it saves time and saves trouble. And this is the only first time I've missed a bobble since that first time, because I was like, ooh, I don't want to keep doing that. And I've been really good about it, except this time I didn't miss all 4. I'll show you where it's missing. It's missing right here. So I'm about to start working back this way. So when I get here, I'm going to use a strip of yarn, fix the bobble, pick back up, and then the other bobbles, though, on the rest of the row, I did them. So it's only one I have to fix. I must have been distracted early in the row that I wasn't looking carefully, because it's kind of obvious where they go. And I did catch that on the whole rest of the row, but I must have been distracted for a while. I need a sip of tea. Ah, that's better. My throat was getting dry. Today's tea is Earl Grey, and I added milk and some vanilla syrup. And it's delicious. So, I wonder, what are you crafting? What creative projects are you working on right now? And there is a very, very relaxed, a lovely viewer who actually just recently started her own podcast. I will put her channel name up in the video when I go back to edit, but she just started her own YouTube channel, and I watched her first episode and enjoyed it. And she is also knitting the Fidelia, but she had a bit of a false start. That's fine, that totally happens, and she didn't get super far, so it'll be fine, and she'll make a lovely cardigan. But it is kind of discouraging when that happens, but it happens to everyone. So if you want to knit, it doesn't have to be any particular pattern. You can pick any wintry cardigan pattern that you want. It can be just stockinette. It could be really patterned, whatever you like. It could be Fair Isle and color work or whatever you like. But if you want to do a wintry cardigan and knit along, that would be great. And I'd love to hear what pattern you choose. Or you might just really think that the Fidelia pattern's lovely. I happen to really like it, so I don't blame you if you also think it's lovely. So, and if the Fidelia pattern is the one that you really want, then of course, that would be super cool. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd mention that, and that's all the crafting talk for today. And books. In March, there was the Blackathon 2021, which is a readathon for Black History Month, because February in the United States is Black History Month. And so it's in honor of that. It was created and is organized by Jessie of Bowties and Books. I followed the prompts for Team Science Fiction Fantasy. No surprise there what team I chose. But yeah, I followed prompts for Team Science Fiction Fantasy. I did complete in February 3 books for the Blackathon Readathon. The first book I completed was The Lesson by Cadwell Turnbull, and that was the team book for Science Fiction Fantasy. I also then read Binti, which is a short novella, which I really, really liked. And then I read my very first book by N.K. Jemisin, which is an author I've been super excited about. Starting to read her work, and I started with the 5th season, which is a series, the first book in the Broken Earth series, and wow, it is epic. It blew me away, really. Such a really good book. I really liked all 3 of the books that I read for that readathon. I've just been having a really good reading time. I've been picking up some really good things. I talked about The Lesson and I talked about Binti in the last couple of episodes. So if you want to hear more details about those and what they're about, how I liked them, yeah, you can go back to the last couple episodes. But the 5th season, I was a little worried because I heard that it's a quite complex book, and it's not the easiest writing style. It's not a straightforward, like, linear narrative. It pops around, and there are a lot of characters and different points of view. So I was hoping that I would get into it and be able to follow it and not get lost. And I liked it so much. It was confusing. I will not say that it was not confusing. And especially you get dropped in, you don't get info dumped at all the information in the beginning. You get dropped kind of like pow in the middle with different characters in different places. And you're just kind of thrown into the deep water, and it's like start to swim and figure it out. And so it was confusing, but I also knew I had confidence in, just because of her writing style and her, it just reassured me that we weren't just going nowhere. Yes, you're confused now, but I've really felt like the author knew exactly where the story was going and how to get there and how to lead me as a reader there. And that when I needed to know a secret, or when I needed something to be revealed, that she knew when to tell me, and she knew what I needed to know at the time that I needed it. And she kept her promise. Things did weave together, and the narrative thread kind of emerged and connected with other things. And so it masterfully done. Like, wow, the craftsmanship of that, just kind of leading you along, and then slowly, piece by piece, well-timed reveal at a time. But she doesn't reveal everything, because, this is the first book of a series. So not all the big questions, or not every mysterious thing is explained. And there's definitely a lot of room for more development and more reveals. And I'm excited to continue with the series. It is not, this is a raw and kind of brutal book. There are definitely trigger warnings for physical and emotional abuse, child murder. There is like a forced breeding program, where the people there are, this is a fantasy, so there are people with that are born with abilities to kind of control and interact with the earth, basically, and they can, calm a volcano, or they can set off a volcano, or earthquakes, or all kinds of things. So it can be very, very dangerous, but it's also very, very powerful, and there are people who want to control that power. There's always people that want to control power, and there definitely is a big hierarchy and a big elite and powerful elite in this empire, the Sansa Empire, that hunt and capture the people with these abilities, and either enslave them, or if they won't be enslaved, then kill them if they find them. So they also have a forced breeding program, for those those people that they've enslaved to breed more and more powerful and breed more people with powers that are under their control. So it is very harsh. It is violent and raw. So, you know, you should also know that before you get into it. But I was drawn in, even when I didn't know exactly where it was gonna, where it was going. The characters are so complex and well developed, the main characters, and the relationships between the characters are complicated and nuanced. There's so much nuance, and yeah. So this is a really, really good book, and I definitely am on board for the series. Yeah. And still haven't been watching anything. I just haven't wanted to watch anything on cable or streaming. I just have been in really a reading and just chatty YouTube mood, just to keep me company. So yeah. I can't think of any other things to talk about today. So I hope that you are well. I hope that you're enjoying all of your creative projects. I hope that you're reading interesting things. And yeah, I'd love to chat with you about all of that kind of stuff in the comments below. And especially if you are joining in the Wintery Cardigan knit along. I hope that wherever you are well and safe, and all of your loved ones and all of your family are well. And see you next time. Bye bye.